Welcome to the cutting room floor. You're gonna see a couple of feathers here, but hey, we'll clean the mess up and get those filthy animals out of here. What's up, it's your boy Cintron, coming back at you with another analysis video to kid you not, that's the real name. Part 7 of our series here, looking at the depth chart, post-draft and post-OTAs and minicamp. So we're looking at the edge position today. Who is going to come and fill out this roster? Because we have our top heavy guys, and then we have the rest of the guys who can fill in and try and get that, hopefully, 6-man rotation. I don't think it's going to be 5, I think it's going to be 6. So let's start with the guy who's replacing our head honcho last year, Reddick. We're trading in for a younger guy in Bryce Huff. So it's funny, they went to the opposite places, but one was traded for. We got a pick in the extra 3rd round next year that could be conditional. As conditional, it can be a 2nd rounder if he gets 10 plus sacks and 67%, I think 67.5% of the playing time. But Bryce Huff is a younger man. He's 25 or 26, and yeah, man, he is a guy who's been at the top of the rankings for the pass rush win rate the past 2 seasons. He led it last year, I think, with 21% win rate, and the previous year before that, I think it was like 22%. But either way, he was easily top 5. A guy who's hasn't played the run as much, but it's not that he can't do it, it's just that he hasn't had the opportunity to do so. And he played alongside Will McDonald, Quentin Williams on the inside, Quincy Williams on the outside as a linebacker, and inside. He was an interior linebacker in a 3-4. Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson is always Jermaine. So he was sent as a part of a platoon, and he never had to be the head lead guy, but he was a guy coming off fresh off the bench. But he's going to be more of a mainstay here in Philly, and we're going to increase his uptick, his playing time, and hopefully his effectiveness doesn't go down too much. But I don't think we're going to be losing out on too much. And Vic Fangio loves to play heavy, as we'll get to with other D-line guys. But that being said, I think he's up for the challenge. He damn sure will better be signed a $51 million deal, 3 years, $17 million. So he's getting what Reddick would have gotten, in some. And there's no way we were keeping Reddick. It was just a fool's dream, a fool's errand for me to think that we were gonna maintain him for 2024 and then just let him go for nothing. Nah, we had to get something. So and there's no way he probably would have played on that contract, making only $14 million a year. So yeah, I mean it's tough, but we're gonna have to replace that production and hope that he pans out, which I think he will, because he's part of a complement. Even here where he's being tasked to be the main guy, he isn't the only guy we're relying on. Josh Sweat is another guy who took a pay cut to stay here, and I thought that he would have been the guy to get traded. He grades out as the less efficient guy, even though he's beating better talent, though we'll get to that in a second, than Reddick, because Reddick always got his sacks against right tackles, inferior talent, juxtaposed to his talent level. He's supposed to be a top tier pass rusher in the league, but he's 2nd tier to the top tier guys. And not to say that he's bad, he's beating up on weaker competition. Like in the NFC Championship game, now 3 seasons ago, he got a sack off a tight end and affected Brock Purdy, got him hurt, got him about the game. Hey man, good job. But that being said, he was going up against, like I said, a tight end that should have never been blocking him in the first place. But hey man, shout out to Kyle Shanahan for making no mistakes. Hey man, keep it. And he also did so I think last year again in the game before they whooped up on us. But we were staying with him, and Reddick was a part of that. But that being said, Josh, he failed us. He started out hot, the hottest pass rusher at the midpoint of the season, and then after that he fell off a fucking cliff. And a lot of guys did. Him and several other gentlemen in our front 7 were freelancing, hunting for sacks and trying to get that payday. You can see him on film. He's desperate, trying to get that that last couple sacks to hit the incentives and get that money. Man, when guys are out there in mercenary mode, terrible place to be. Not communicating, not caring about that, their gap, responsibilities, their gap discipline, integrity, letting things go to just to to chase some money, some stacks, some stats. Bad place to be, man. Down bad, and we were certainly worried that from a certain point on, the precipitous slip that we went on, losing 6 of our last 7 games. But Josh Sweat, man, I think he could turn around. He's hungry. Have we seen peak Josh Sweat? Potentially, maybe, but I think he still can be highly effective, and playing against a high end pass rusher who gives all of his effort, gets the most out of all of his talent that he has in Bryce Huff, who maximizes everything he's got. I think that'll light a fire under Josh Sweat, and yeah, he'll be dropping some, just as will Bryce Huff and other guys rotating in. That being said, I'm glad that we retained one of them, and yeah, while he's a younger guy and he could play himself into another contract extension, though things will get tight because the money is the money, and Jalen Hurts is making a hell of a lot of it, and you gotta complement pieces around him, and I mean some people gotta go, unfortunately, but we'll see what Sweat bears out this season. So don't sweat the technique. Nolan Smith, another guy, he's got to step it up because he disappointed last year, playing I think only 20%, 16% of the snaps, and it wasn't high enough. But he wasn't ready, I don't think. And some of that, Sean decided you put that on him for making the defense too complex, so he couldn't make an impact. But he didn't really showcase a lot of power last year. He was going off of speed, and that's one weapon he did have. Got him the 1 sack in Miami, or in the Miami game. But other than that, he doesn't have counters. He wasn't able to switch that speed to power. So he got in the weight room. He gained some pounds, but we did see the counter moves, the building up off of things, and setting up a pass rush move with this and this and this, and being a little bit better in coverage. Never tapped him to be a great guy in coverage, but thought he could be more than adequate, and he was taking advantage of when he was targeted. So kind of like kids out there in the streets. But hopefully he's able to build upon last year. Really, I mean, not that much to build up off of, but take advantage of having Brandon Graham in there for the last rodeo. I think he went to some pass rush camps. Maybe what's his name? Denver pass rusher Von Miller. So the guy's out there working, and he has a heart. He has leadership qualities, but he needs to put it together on the field and show some production before he can start stepping up and be a bulldog and shout out to the Qs, but not shout out to the Qs. But anyways, but yeah, man, he has the tools, the physical tools, all the tools in the world. He just needs to develop a pass rushing repertoire. One guy who does have that is Brandon Graham, and balls to the wall. He only played 30% of the snaps last year, and we'll be counting on him this year. Shouldn't leave anything out there because this is his last year, 15th year, the most ever by an Eagle, topping Chuck Bednarik, a legend here in Philly. A guy who got us in the 60s, got us to the Super Bowl and stuff like that. But Brandon, man, guy who gives you his all, his everything. Good run defender as well. Had that stellar career best in sacks season 2 years ago. Can he get revive some of that and have, bring back some of that juice? Potentially, but they shouldn't be afraid to use him this season. And hey, if he's playing better than knowing that, sometimes lean on that veteran leadership, like when he had him in the Dallas game, and he was using Terrence Steele as a turnstile. Alex Hunt, hey, he won't be hunting for. He's gonna be there just because he was a 3rd round pick this year. But that being said, don't count on him for anything this season. Potentially special teams, but even that, just having him as a game day activation. If a guy goes down, you won't really want him in there, or the greenhorn. He could drop in coverage. I believe he's the best coverage defender as it is already on the roster, from the edge position. But that being said, he needs to get stronger, understand better how to use his momentum, not take false steps, be explosive. He's the antithesis of Bryce Huff right now. So slow out of the gate. He just wins on pure physicality alone, and just his move instincts as a player, not as a guy who's playing edge, because he's a former safety and he's still kind of in that mode. But once he gets used to his body, getting you swapped, he could push for playing time, I think, next year. But this year, don't really expect anything. And two of the guys that are on this list, but one's not listed here. One I will get to first is, three. Patrick Johnson. I don't expect him to be anything more than a practice squad player, if that. I have a guy actually on the name in a second that I have making over him because I think we've seen the best, we have out of Patrick Johnson. If he does make the roster, or if he does make the practice squad, it's potentially, not potentially, it's for his special teams acumen. Other than that, nah, count him out because he doesn't give us really anything in the pass rushing game. Julian Alquara, though, he was a former third-round pick, I think it was of the Lions, and has the good measurables. He came out and got hurt. I think I was at Notre Dame, and he's a guy that is very talented. Came on, I think it was his rookie year, and I think maybe second year, had some good stats, some good sacks, but he hit a hard point, was cast aside, and hopefully he can remake things here and show us, live up to that potential. So we'll see. But yeah, former third-round pick, but not for nothing. And Terrell Lewis, another guy who's brimming with potential, who I would put him over Patrick Johnson. Just has good potential to develop into a guy that could be a depth player for us in rush passing. But these guys, I think I'll see them on the practice squad, and then we'll see where we go from there. But anyways, we're gonna end it there because hey, you're not even watching though, but it's all good because I love talking about the freaking stinking Philadelphia Eagles, and I love making videos about this team. So we'll chunk the juices officially. But as always, it's Fly Eagles Fly, and let's motherfucking go.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.